GPS satellites, unmanned drones, fucking laser sights. The more crutches you have, the more it hurts when they're kicked out from under you. If there's one thing I know for sure, it's that a 6-inch blade never loses reception.
Hello friends, before we get started today, I have bought a new mic and I am aware of the slight echo. I live in a large empty room and I am going to be moving in about a week, so there's not too much I can do about it right now. In the meantime though, I stream most of this over at twitch.tv/GoblinGreen if you're interested in checking me out. Thatcher is one of the original 20 operators in Rainbow Six Siege, and because of this, he helped set a baseline as one of the most consistently useful and viable operators in Team Rainbow. But due to the balance decisions in the past few years, his gadget interactions are actually pretty inconsistent. I propose that if all the interactions were brought in line, one way or the other, it would be a buff to Thatcher and attack across the board. And by that I mean whether or not the EMP grenade will destroy or disable the gadget. I give you two scenarios. Scenario A. Thatcher destroys all gadgets instead of just disabling them, which will be a buff since it will relieve attack of some of the more oppressive gadgets in the game. P.S. Operators whose gadget is something that they carry with them and or recharges after use will be unaffected. This is Clash, Warden, Vigil, and Pulse. Scenario B. Thatcher disables all gadgets instead of destroying them, which will buff attacks since it will hurt Bandit tricking and give a larger window of opportunity to open reinforced walls against Bandit. This is due to the fact that Bandit cannot put a battery on a wall that it already has one, and Cade and Mute would remain ineffective in this strategy for the same reason that they already are. I'll now go into a list of every operator and gadget that would be affected by this change, and why it would either be a buff or almost do nothing to the involved ops. Getting the obvious out of the way here, we have Pulse, Vigil, Clash, and Warden. These ops will be exempt from the change as it would be crazy overpowered to turn off any of these gadgets for the entire round. This change cannot affect these ops because it would either force Thatcher to be permabanned or kill the viability of these ops entirely. Plus, Warden needs all the help he can get. Now, we test Scenario A, Disable to Destroy, which for those without context, Ubisoft would typically view this as a buff for Thatcher. The secondary gadgets, the motion sensor and deployable camera, would be at slight impact due to them being easy to destroy once disabled. Black Eyes would feel this change the most due to them being hidden, and attack usually having to bring IQ to deal with them. Whereas default cams would mostly be unaffected due to players having knowledge of where they are. Echo drones would also be relatively unaffected by this change due to the grenades not only disabling them, but uncloaking them and forcing them to drop to the ground, which makes them very easy to deal with. Maestro eyes are similarly vulnerable due to their bulletproof shield, opening upon being disabled. Alibi's Prism surprised me. I thought Thatcher already destroyed them with the EMP on live, but as it turns out, it only disables them. This change would affect Alibi players more than most would think. Mozzie's gadget is interesting because the Pest does get destroyed with the EMP, but his drones do not, and I would suggest that hitting captured drones with the EMP releases them. Wamai's discs currently only get destroyed after catching the EMP. Any nearby just get disabled. This change would bring the discs in line with the expectation that is currently set by Jaeger's ADS. And lastly, Malusi's Wubba Lubba Dub Dubs would now be destroyed, giving attack another safe alternative to meleeing them, which they still have to do after disabling them on live. Next, we test Scenario B, Destroyed to Disable, which Ubisoft has traditionally used as a way to nerf Thatcher during attack-heavy metas. First is Mute. Disabling his gadget doesn't do much either way, as it is easily destroyed through other means. Smoke's grenades would end up largely unaffected as well, because smoke usually detonates ASAP. Bandit is a big focus here. As mentioned before, he cannot reapply a battery to a wall that actively has a battery on it, which would in theory either prevent Bandit tricking or add additional steps somewhere in the process. Jaeger's ADS would function more like Wamai on Live, adding to consistency. I believe Legion soup cans would be the only gadget to be buffed by this change and could be changed to uncloak when disabled if necessary. And lastly, Cade's Electro Claw would be largely unaffected due to him not being nearly as effective at tricking as Bandit currently on Live. And to finish out, we also recorded some other ops for a laugh, so I present that to you, and I hope you enjoy.
Op 4 eliminated. Mission success.
Kill cam's good.
You will be detected if you remain in this area. Your location has been compromised.
Yeah, you can dab as Wamai.
Friendly's victorious. Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful. Mission failed. All friendlies have been neutralized. You will be detected if you remain in this area. You have been spotted.
If you enjoyed the video, I urge you to leave a like and subscribe. If you had any input or ideas, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. As mentioned before, I stream on twitch.tv/GalvinGreen. I play Rainbow Six Siege most nights, and I plan on doing some video game reviews in the future. I am almost to affiliate, I just need some more followers. If you like what you see, come check me out and give me a follow. Before I go, I'm going to leave you guys with this clip that I found especially funny from my stream last night as I was playing God of War 4. The only way I know you guys like my content is with your support. Thank you for watching the video to this point. Drink some water and enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, man, I know that feel. It's that grind, though. I don't know if I ever told you about the time that I sent a meme to my boss, my FLM, about overtime. It was like a SpongeBob meme of Squidward being no, they didn't care. It wasn't like super negative. It was a picture of Squidward that he was like tied up in a knot or something. And it was like when you've already worked 60 hours this week and your boss asks you for more overtime, and it's just fucking a caption of "Let's get this fucking bread" as Squidward's like crawling around on the ground, tied up into a fucking ball. I sent it to like 15 people by accident because I was trying to send it to Sean. It was a great time. I wonder if I could find it. Okay, I found it. Let me save this. I'll put it up on the stream. There we go. So yeah, this is the meme that I fucking sent to like 15 people in a work text message group. It was so fucking funny. Well, I got that fucking bread. My FLM texted back. It's like, because it was the FLM set up the text message group about overtime, which makes it even fucking better, right? And so I accidentally sent that to the group instead of Sean, as he was like, the day after he was asking if people could come in and work the weekend. And he was like, Mr. Woods, I don't know what this means. And I was like, oh, my bad. I meant to send that to somebody else in a private conversation. Big fucking oof. And when I went back to work, I apologized for it. But it was not the worst meme. It was not the worst meme that I could have sent into a group chat with 15 people. To be fair, I have sent some very inflammatory memes around at some point. Well, I got that fucking bread. Exactly. Well, I got that fucking bread. So in terms of safe for work memes that I view at, this is pretty up there actually. I definitely could have sent something much, much worse that could have actually cost me my job. But it's just yeah, exactly. It says fucking in there, which when you're talking about adults that are usually on average, people that are working at Bosch are probably 40 years old on average, right? They can handle seeing fucking in an image at least once in a group message related to work. I think that's pretty forgivable. And then at work, for probably the next 2 weeks, when people would see me, they'd be like, yeah, let's get this fucking bread. Because, like I said, pretty much my whole shift and some of second shift saw this meme because of this group chat. And I came back to work and people would be like, dude, are you gonna get fired for that? And I was like, I don't think so. I talked to the FLM and it was not the worst thing I could have sent. And it is kind of funny. And it was kind of on topic. So and it's not even being oh, fuck overtime, it's the worst, I hate it. It's just let's get this bread 3 12-hour shifts in a row later. Well, I got that fucking bread. If anything, it's being positive about overtime, even if it's fucking rough.